course, everything, whatever is good has been described. But one more thing which is good is that it has been given the importance, 50% importance is given to the most or probably very, very neglected disease, that is tuberculosis. You know, it's a pity that we are in a situation which we are in tuberculosis, where in most of the countries which are developed, communicable diseases are going down. Even in our country, we are developing, communicable diseases are going down, except tuberculosis. Infectious diseases go down as the country develops, and non-infectious diseases, like as we saw CVS, they go up, malignancy go up as the country develops. But why tuberculosis is different? You know, it is not going down in our country, China, Africa. Why? So there are some things which first I talk, which we already, all of you mostly must be knowing, and then we go to some aspects of tuberculosis which are new and which are very, very important and probably not highlighted as they should be. Right? We know that as a twister of mankind, tuberculosis has no equal. It is the oldest disease, as Dr. Snehal said, and even the Vedas have described it. Right? These are the formal figures of 2012. Very high. Incidence is 211 and mortality is 19. Right? It is much, much more than the other important diseases which are being given so much importance. But tuberculosis somehow has not got that importance in treatment. Right? Tuberculosis continues to be an important communicable disease and a leading cause of morbidity and mortality. The good thing is that it is an infectious disease, as I said before, and infectious diseases can be cured. You know, antibiotics are the most important discovery of mankind, that they can cure the disease. You know, we can all other diseases, either we give any beta blocker or any medicine, we are just manipulating the centers of our body, you know, receptors or whatever. But antibiotics are novel, they are new, they are not present in our body. They don't push or they suppress any receptors. They work by themselves and they kill the bacteria. So it is good that it is curable, right? What is tuberculosis? First, I think we should understand, and then we can move on. So you all must be knowing this X-ray is not new for anybody sitting over here, right? It is pulmonary tuberculosis, very clear, and other form is extrapulmonary tuberculosis, right? It includes all CNS, skeletal, abdominal, urogenital, lymphatic, ophthalmologic and skin, which I have not mentioned. Plus, the important thing was that pleural effusion, miliary cox and endobronchial cox, they also are extrapulmonary tuberculosis. So the criteria for treatment of extrapulmonary apply to the last three also. They are not pulmonary, right? Moving on, an infectious disease characterized by growth of tubercules in tissues, primarily lungs, and then secondarily it can go anywhere. Right? So this is this is very familiar. This is a sketch diagram. The first one which we get is a simple infection. Right, this one. Then it moves ahead, a cavity is formed, and then the whole lung is included. So this is how the tuberculosis proceeds. It's a granuloma, caseous necrosis, and then it's further spreads. Right? And tuberculosis is also, the bacilli are also called acid-fast bacilli because they stain with the acid-fast stain. Right? Now we come to something which is new. Right? See, to fight against any bacteria, any disease, any organism, I think we should know it first. The more we know about it, the easily we can deal with it. And tubercle bacilli are not typical. They are not what we think of. They are absolutely different. I'll explain in the coming slide. We come to know it. We have to have a different type of mindset. We have to think in a different plane while we are treating tuberculosis. Why? Suppose we take 10 people from this room and we ask them that, okay, what is the distance between Bhavnagar to Ahmedabad, right? So somebody will say 3 hours, somebody will say 4 hours, 4.5 hours, 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours, fine. If somebody asks me, I'll tell 2.5 days to 3 days. So he's a crazy guy. 2.5 to 3 days, how? I'm going by bicycle, right? So this is the difference. I have taken an E. coli, which is a typical bacilli, and a tubercle bacilli. It is absolutely different. You cannot judge by the thinking of normal bacilli. You know, if you go by car, bus, it is all E. coli, salmonella, and whatever, pseudomonas, staph. All the bad ones also are come in that. They go by bus or they go by car. But tubercle bacilli are different. You cannot judge them. You know, if we are going by 3 to 4 hours to Ahmedabad, we think, okay, one break and we are gone. Here, one night stay at something else and some Chambodar, and then we'll reach maybe 3 days, right? So this is tubercle bacilli. It is absolutely different. And so we have to think in that mindset to treat it. Then we can deal with it, right? So the basic differences I highlight: generation time. It is the most important while giving antibiotics, right? Anti-tubercular drugs are basically antibiotics, but they have given a different head. So it's 20 minutes, it's a 16 to 22 something minutes for any bacilli normally. It can start from 2 minutes, and for tubercle it is in hours. So it is 16 to 22 hours, right? So in one day they multiply only once, right? So in the treatment part, again, this will be very important, right? Then the culture growth, again same thing will happen. You know, that culture grows in 42 hours, and this, it takes 2 months, imagine. So naturally now, if these both are different, then the treatment has to be different. So for our normal infections, we give it for 1 week or maximum 2 weeks. And for this one, we have to give for months, right? But the achievement is here. This is our achievement. This is 45 to 50 times. I missed it because here you cannot see it. This is again 45 to 50 times, and the treatment duration, we have managed it to reduce it to half of the expected, right? You can see this is all 50 times, and this 25 times. So we are going good. It should be 1 to 1.5 years, but it is only 25 times. So we'll come to that again. Right? Now, diagnosis. Simple ones I'll talk first, and then a bit complicated. Sputum microscopy, as I said, AFP, acid-fast bacilli, they get stained by Z-Glances staining, and we get the result. Right? That comes positive if the sample has more than 1,000 bacilli. Right? Second is chest radiographic, meaning chest X-ray or other radiological aspects like USG, CT scan for brain, MRI for spine, etc. You all know that. So I am not going to in detail about that. Then the conventional LJ culture medium, which takes around 2 months to grow and you get the results. Right? Then a bit supportive, though important in children, is Mantoux test. Right? Then the other supportive ones are bronchoalveolar lavage, which we get, and we, by bronchoscopy we get a microscopy done and we get a diagnosis. Fluid examination, SIT fluid, pleural fluid, many CSF, etc. ESI, very helpful. FNAC and biopsy, confirmatory, especially if we get lymph nodes positive, right? Some things which are not important also has to be highlighted, like TB, IgG and IgM. They have been banned officially in our country. They are not useful. Gone. And second, interferon gamma release assay, IGRAs. They, in between phase, they had been given very much importance, but their results are also misleading, and they are not recommended, and in the near future, most probably they will be also banned, right? So these are the conventional diagnostic modalities which we have about tuberculosis. Now the newer ones, which are most discussed about, very confusing and complicated, but they are not at all confusing, not at all complicated. Sorry. So the one thing that I would like to highlight over here is the liquid culture, that is imaging, MGIT. Simple it is there. It has a radioactive this thing at the base of it, and some things have been put that are not important for us. And when the mycobacteria grow in it, the fluorescence occurs at the base. That is its principle. So if fluorescence occurs, mycobacteria has grown. If it does not occur, it hasn't grown. So simple culture, but there are some benefits. Similar diagnostic yield to solid culture. Right? Now solid culture we get at 2 months, and this we get in 2 to 3 weeks. Now as I said, if we reach Ahmedabad by bicycle in 1 day, then it is a miracle. Though it is not very graceful, but it is a miracle because it is by bicycle. So for TB, 21 days getting a culture with sensitivity is a miracle. When it came, we were all very happy. We are happy now also. And the DS, drug sensitivity testing, can also be done by MGIT. Now this is also very important. Now one thing this has been mentioned over here, phenotypic. The another head is genotypic. Now these both are very, very important to understand, and understanding them will give us the knowledge of when to order which test, right? So genotypic, I'll not go in detail, but I'll explain the difference and then you will get it. Right? 4 types of genotyping tests are available over here. I am discussing all those things which are possible in Bhavnagar itself. Means we can do it from here. Some of them may be done in Ahmedabad, but we can get it done. This is not out of the blue, done only at America. No, here, very much. Right? So one is TB-PCR, nucleic acid identification, gene export, and line probe assay, right? Genes test. Now, what is phenotypic and what is genotypic? Mostly you must be knowing, but still I would like to say a bit about it and you will understand it. Phenotypic is face and genotypic is the genetic constitution. Suppose, Maulid, okay, you see me and this is him. And you don't see me, you take my blood and you analyze the DNA, right? That okay, he must be having curly hair, then he must be having specs, then his height must be this. So that is genotypic assessment. And phenotypic is direct, face to face, you see, right? So culture is phenotypic. You see the TB bacilli, it grows, and you have it in front of you. The benefit is in drug sensitivity testing, and some more benefits as well. DST we go later. In diagnosis of TB, right? For phenotypic, the bacilli should be there, so they will grow. But for genotypic, if dead bacilli is there, then also the genes will be there of the dead bacilli. And so the genetic tests will give us positive results when actually the patient may not be suffering. Right? Secondary, these are very, very sensitive tests. I forgot to mention the MGIT. It detects bacilli from 10 to 100, 10 to 1000, any bacilli. And these things, they determine bacilli even if they are 1 to 10. Right? So they are very, very sensitive. So so meticulous procedure is required for genotypic testing that any flying mycobacteria which is not tuberculosis, it can be opportunistic, then that also will give a positive result because the genome will match of the mycobacteria, right? So genotypic testing has its own limitations, but the benefit is 1 to 2 days. You get a result like this. That is a great achievement again, right? Now in drug sensitivity testing, again, drug sensitivity testing in culture or MGA, the mycobacteria has to grow in presence of your rifampicin. If it grows, rifampicin resistant, and if it doesn't grow, rifampicin is sensitive. Fine. For genotypic testing, it's not like that. Nothing else, no rifampicin is put. The gene is determined, right? That if the gene is normal, that is wild, then it is sensitive to rifampicin. And if the gene is mutant, then it is resistant to rifampicin. Now that is a risk, if RPO beta, suppose, for rifampicin. So if RPO beta is mutated, then they give the report that rifampicin resistant. Sometimes it may not be there, or mixed bacilli, right? So if a person is infected, then out of the millions of bacilli he may be having, few 100,000 may be resistant, and the rest of them would be sensitive. So if that particular bacilli is analyzed, you get rifampicin resistance. When actually rifampicin would be sensitive in most of them, and we are not giving rifampicin alone, we are giving 4 drugs. So those few which are resistant to rifampicin, they will be killed by other medicines. Right? You are getting me?
Yes.
Fine. So this is the importance between genotypic and phenotypic. Right? So phenotypic is always better. End of the day, phenotypic is better if you have time. Phenotypic is more reliable. Genotypic is very good. Upcoming, getting more and more reliable day by day. They are analyzing more genes which are specific to TB, which are specific to rifampicin and isoniazid resistance, but it will take time. And one more thing, last one for this slide, that for when we go for culture, we get sensitivity of any drug because we put the disc and we see the sensitivity. For genetic, we don't get for all. There are few which are reliable like rifampicin, isoniazid, fluoroquinolone, etc. For them only we can get. We cannot get for ethambutol and no. Right? So this is, see, tuberculosis as such is a very big topic. Days can be it can be talked about over the period of days. But I am today I am trying to because I am getting a very good crowd over here. I am trying to cover only those topics which you won't get easily in the textbooks or on internet, right? Which are complicated, which are not very clarified over anywhere. Those topics I am trying to clarify. I am not discussing everything. So if I miss out something, please call me. Right? We move ahead. Some important things are to come. Anti-tuber treatment. Right? Now we have diagnosed. Okay, we got TB, we got resistant protein, whatever. Now treatment. We forget the resistant TB just now. We will come to it in the later part. Don't worry, it won't last long. But first we are talking about normal, first time occurred TB. Right? So anti-tubercular treatment. Now some hallmarks need to be seen through history. So it gives us more idea about this thing. In 65, the TB is contagious. It was discovered only in 65. Right? In 82, it is 1882, not 19. Right? The great Dr. Robert Cox, he discovered those TB bacilli. And within 2 years, see, in 18, from 20 years from this and 2 years from this, the sanatorium treatment started in US. They saw that, okay, treatment is, forget it. We just want to stop the spread. Isolate the patients, give them big rooms, let them be by themselves. 50% will live, 50% will go, but they won't spread. Right? And in over a period of 100 years, TB is gone from US. Right? Then some important drugs are discovered. We are not interested in dates. Right? Most of the sanatoriums closed by 1970 in US, right? And in India, after that the scenario starts, right? It is a very beautiful condition, but yes. And the picture was such in 80s and 90s that India was in so bad condition that when government didn't have anything to do for these patients. So whatever was offered was taken up. So dots at that time also, alternative therapy, had a little bit less results, but when we have nothing, then we have to accept it. And so it was started. It gave results, but over the period of time, some loopholes were found, and I think now the dots is going to become daily in the government also. Right? And gradually now awareness is increasing. In last decade, a lot of work has been done. After malignancy, I think TB is a priority disease for most of the countries because now India, China and Africa are a big market for TB drugs. So everybody is interested. Right? The point to be emphasized over here is that in 1960 and 1962, last two drugs were found. After 62 for 50 years, nothing. No new drug was found for tuberculosis. One was there, the very precious fluoroquinolones, ofloxacin, levofloxacin. Those who must have heard me before, I always stress upon that. Please don't use those for lower respiratory tract infections when you are not sure it's not TB or it is TB. Preserve them. I love them because they treat many patients. Right? When they were in phase 2 trials, the company I am not disclosing, when they were in phase 2 trials, it was discovered that fluoroquinolones are highly effective against TB bacilli, tubercle bacilli. But the company did not highlight it because if they would have highlighted, then those would have got restricted to use of only anti-TB treatment like rifampicin, and they were not interested in that. So it was just suppressed. This is the primary history. Now, what are the therapeutic agents? See, their side effects and their doses you can get from anywhere. So I am not going to discuss that. Something more important, something better is there for me to tell you. Right? So we at present, it has been divided into 5 groups. The first is the 4 which we know, and which we think that this is TB, but it is not that. It is much more than that. Second group is injectable agents, the aminoglycosides. Third are fluoroquinolones, as we talked. Fourth group is the older medicines which are off the use for last 30-40 years, and so now the bacilli are getting sensitive to them again. So, and we don't have anything else, so we are using them again. when the first line drugs are not helpful. Right? So this is the fourth group, and the fifth group are all the semi useful or non-useful type of medicines which we have to use when we don't get a proper regime to make. How to make regime we'll discuss in the next slide. Right? So these are the 5 groups in which the anti-TB treatment has been divided. So something we have to select from this, nothing else. This is the only thing which we have in our hand. Right? Now there are some principles in treating TB which should be borne in mind before we start any treatment for tuberculosis. Right? First is that always treat the confirmed TB patient with at least 3 single. Yeah, one thing I forgot to tell. That the 3 groups this side, first, second and third are seeded drugs, and fourth and fifth group mostly are static drugs. Right? So always treat a confirmed TB patient with at least 3 seeded and 1 static drug. Second, if replacement is needed, AKT-induced jaundice or whatever, right, then either equipotent, single to single, should be replaced, or if we don't get any single on hand, and 2 static should be added. Right? This is the golden rule. Please follow it. Please follow it. Never add a single drug to failing regime. When you are treating with patient with HRZD and you say, result is not coming, add levo. No, you are throwing your drug to the TB vaccine. What? When 4 drugs are not working, how will that 1 drug work? Right? So that will also get resistant very soon, and then one more group is gone. So if you are not getting result, first confirm it is TB, and if yes, please get the sensitivity done and treat accordingly. Then you will definitely get result. Adding 1 drug to failing regime will fail your the next drug also. Right? Then in point of view of AKT, extrapulmonary disease should be treated like pulmonary. Add-ons are different for extrapulmonary of each system. Right? But AKT, same. And for children also, the dose adjustment of weight, otherwise it has to be same. Right? Now these are probably the most important slides of today's talk, which I would like to share with you. We always have questions. Just now we were sitting down and sir said that a survey was done and around 39 different regimes for same single primary disease, pulmonary, were found out in that survey. 39 different ways. Yes, very true, very true. And why? We'll get the result, right? Always we have these questions which I have tried to answer. NDTB fixed drug combination. What do you think? Yes or no? Okay. See, compatibility is more important, right? We are giving 4 drugs and quite a good dose. So if 5% absorption reduces, forget it. But as in polypill we saw, same is here. Patient, see, we have patients say, sir, I have the even this, and he comes after 2 months. So he has made our 4 drug regime to 2 drug regime or 3 drug regime. So all our labor has gone into water, right? So fixed FDCs are recommended, right? This type of scenario in our village people, it's very difficult, right? Some myths, NDTB jaundice, if AKT-induced jaundice has to occur, it will occur even if you give any damn liver supportive. So every patient liver supportive is not required. If you find any jaundice symptoms, treat it, otherwise it is not that frequent that you give liver supportive to every patient, right? Second, PPI. If you are worried about absorption, PPI reduces absorption, right? Give PPI, but if it is needed. Secondly, what I practice is I give it for 10 days or 15 days or 1 month, and then I gradually stop it and give on SOS days. Right? So we try to reduce the medicines. One thing that this thing doesn't happen, and secondly, we help absorption of the TB drugs, right? And a third one, multivitamins are not really. So practically, what I am trying to say, reduce the pills as much as you can. Then the patient will remain compatible. If you give a big bunch of disease, and it will all get messed up, right? So that is a first message. Second, TB drugs should be taken empty stomach. Even if we don't write, the medical people like, without even, it is not mentioned in the prescription. Now I am not being bold enough, I am just quoting because it is a bold statement. Effect of meals on rifampicin. This is a Lancet study, very old, and it mentions what I'll tell you, just what it mentions, that there is some difference in absorption, empty stomach or postprandial of rifampicin only. Other drugs, there is no question about empty stomach. For rifampicin, there is an issue that okay, it should be empty, given empty stomach is that it reduces the absorption, but it has no effect on MIC, right? So ingestion of rifampicin, fasting or postprandial state, made virtually no difference to the time for which the serum rifampicin level remained above the MIC, right? So the bold highlight, it is therefore unnecessary to insist that rifampicin in single dose of 600 mg should be taken fasting, right? It is the biggest myth. No need to give rifampicin empty stomach. Give him after food. At least he'll take it, otherwise he won't take it, right? And on top of that, we give FPC empty stomach. Imagine, pyrazinamide empty stomach. Not possible. So that is pity for patient. We should never, if you are very meticulous, give isolated rifampicin empty stomach, but not other drugs empty stomach, please. Right? And for other drugs, as I said, there is no question about giving empty stomach, right? I think these 39 type of prescriptions, I am trying to reduce them to some 2 to 3 type of regimes, right? NDTB drugs and the dosage schedule. Sorry. Right? Now this is again, see, whatever we are doing is for patient's failure, right? For good of the patient. So, but the problem is that we don't have any guidelines for treatment of TB. So these 39 regimes exist, right? The guidelines are missing. Now we give a patient one pyrazinamide 750 in the morning and one at night. Now what happens? Let us have a look. See, we give the medicine and it goes into the blood. It reaches our granuloma, TB granuloma. Here all the precision is there, so it is reaching, right? Then further it goes. Now TB bacilli live outside also and inside the macrophage also. So they live inside, they live outside. Both, everywhere they are there. Right? Now see this. MIC I am discussing. See, this is the highlight. We all know that when the bacilli is reproducing, the drug uptake is more, right? And when the bacilli is latent, when the bacilli is sleeping, there is no drug uptake or almost minimal drug uptake. Now, as we discussed that cycle thing, bacilli, TB bacilli reciprocates only once in one day. So why maintain MIC? You know, E. coli and staph are different. TB bacilli is different, right? For E. coli, we have to maintain this MIC because it will reproduce every 20 minutes. So there is no question when we can leave blood without the bacilli, without antibiotic. But for TB bacilli, no. Give it once. In 24 hours, it will act and then the body will be free of the drug. So less side effects to the patient and still our work is done. Right? So while treating TB, what we try to do is, we try to make the concentration of drugs reach above the MIC level once in a day. So at that time, all those who are replicating are gone. Rest, forget it, tomorrow. Right? And this was the concept of alternate day therapy. That it is fine, you know, every 48 hours also if we give this medicine, those who are replicating, they are killed. And they will replicate someday or other and they will come into the hands of TB drugs. But in the alternate day regime, the Saturday Sunday is a big culprit. In that 72 hours gap comes. After Friday, directly the patient takes the medicine on Monday. So that was causing a bit of resistance, I think. But I strongly insist that give all the anti-TB drugs in full dose at a time. You know, you can give it at a stretch of half an hour or 1 hour, but not one in the morning and one at night. You know, when isolated ithambutol is running in the blood at night, then the few bacilli reciprocating, they feel that, oh, ithambutol is alone. They take it inside and they produce enzymes and they metabolize ithambutol. So our ithambutol is gone. So resistance develops like that. You know, single antibiotic should not be. When we are attacking some big sadhu's ashram, a force of 30,000 have to go, right? So this is like that. So send all our drugs together to fight against TB. Then they will fight and come back, right? So that is dosage scheduling. Now weight. Again, no much guidelines. What weight, when to give what TB drugs, right? So now this weight by body, mg by body, kg body weight you get everywhere. I am not highlighting. Again, this also all must be knowing that if weight is more than 60 kg, increase the dose of rifampicin to 600 mg. It can be increased after 55 kg also. It has been good. But what about those who are 90 and 100 kg? There are patients who are 90 and 100 kg and we are giving the same dose. Rifampicin may be increased. But what about the other drugs? They won't work, right? So pyrazinamide and ethambutol dose has also to be increased if the patient's weight is more than 75 kg, right? The rifampicin 600 is for 75 kg. From 60 to 75, all other drugs, same dose. Rifampicin 600, fine. After 75 kg, all the drugs dose has to be increased. This is very important, right? And last, duration. Again, no guidelines. I feel I give 6 months, somebody feels 9 months, somebody feels 10 months, 1 year. Spinal TB, same. Pulmonary, same. Lymphatic, same. Is it possible? Spinal TB and pulmonary TB, same duration of treatment? Not possible. Not possible. Absolutely not. Right? We don't have any guidelines. WHO has changed the guidelines. See, WHO is a big institute and it has a lot of things to be considered before it passes any statement. It cannot pass statements like you and me can do in Bhavnagar. Right? It is very meticulous. So it has to follow the protocols of the country and many things. So we cannot alone follow WHO guidelines. And secondly, see, I'll give you an example, I'm not quoting anything. US Health Department, what they give protocol is that doses should be counted and not duration. And this is new, right? What they say, they are doing it. They say that 180 doses should be completed in 6 to 9 months. Forget it, nothing else, right? So if patient wills, we can give him Sunday holiday, right? That okay, Sunday you don't take any medicine. Monday to Saturday you take. But they have to be meticulous about it. Then it gives reason. You complete 180 doses in 6 to 9 months and they are about to eliminate tuberculosis, less than 1% per lakh. Right? That is their score. And this is for pulmonary, but I strongly feel that for extrapulmonary the duration has to be long. Right? So if these things are considered, then maximum 2 to 3 regimes can be formed for any person when they are treating TB. And these should be considered, these guidelines should be considered. Right? Okay, now this was about conventional sensitive or wild type tuberculosis. Now I discussed resistant type of TBs. We'll go a little bit fast in these, not very important, though very important. So, MDR TB, right? Multi-drug resistant, but terminology is very important. Multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, MDR. What is it? It has to be resistant to rifampicin and isoniazid both. If it is alone, it is not called MDR TB, right? XDR TB, that is extensively drug-resistant tuberculosis, right? So what is that? So plot H and R, that is isoniazid and rifampicin resistance, plus fluoroquinolone and aminoglycoside resistance has to be there. Then it is called, then and only then it is called XDR TB. Otherwise, it is called DRT. Simple. If any of these criteria are not followed, then it is called drug-resistant TB. Not MDR. They are a particular terminology accepted all over the globe, right? And the new one is coming, TBR. This is also a coined terminology and not just name. Totally drug-resistant tuberculosis, right? Patients are there. Where those 3 cycle and 1 static or 3 cycle and 2 static combination cannot be formed from that list of medicines, and so they are pitiful condition. That is a TBR. Right? These are the 3 terminologies. Fourth is DRT, simple. Right? Now about India, what we are talking. Notified MDC, we have to see only 3 things: USA, Australia, and India. Colors of these 3, nothing else. Right? These are all WHO charts which I have put the maps. Right? What is this? Notified MDR TB cases. 2013, right? Notified TB cases. Now see, India TB. See this, the dark one. It is more than 1,000. And see, USA and Australia, they are quite less, right? But I am not comparing. I am just saying trying to show that where we are and where we have to reach, where others have already reached, right? Now, important thing is that Russia, see, and China, they are very high, but see the next slide. Right? Percentage new TB cases with DST. Now, how many of you have got DST, drug sensitivity testing done for your new TB patient? None. Even I am not doing. Patient will not accept it, right? This is the time, this is the thing which will come. After 5 years, we will be getting it done. You know, a patient, his life is valuable, and he can spend, if for CVS diseases, he can spend thousands of rupees. Then for this, we cannot get a DST done. Get a DST done, select the best suitable drugs for him, which are sensitive. Make the regime, he can take it, right? So see the chart, right? In this, the dark one is good, right? Because DST is done first hand. When the patient is new, DST is done. So this, see, full America, full Australia, and full Russia. See, they have started doing DST first hand. See China, they have also started. They are new, they are less. And see India, no data. Right? So, even I laughed at first time, but then I felt the intensity of the situation. Yeah? We are quite lacking in this. So these both charts are important, so I have just put them. So what is the thing to come? In the coming days, what should we do? Right? Personalized treatment, tailor-made treatment. How can we fit a 100 kg person and like me, how can we wear the same shirt? We cannot wear. We have to get formulated from one tailor. Right? So like other antibiotics which you select from an antibiogram, drug selection should be done for TB also. Right? Age, gender, lifestyle, habits are also important. Financial condition, alcoholic patient, drugs differ. Financial condition is very important for second-line drugs. We have to consider that also. Right? Comorbidities, very important. You all know this, so I am not going very detailed in that. Which system has been extrapulmonary or pulmonary, and if extrapulmonary, then which system? And past history of TB. Now, when we are treating a patient who has already taken TB drugs once, then the past DPT becomes so important. Now, by any fixed drug regime, how can we give to MDR patient? Some patients have taken levoflox sometimes, some patients have taken aminoglycoside for 1 month, and what not. So those things has to be considered before formulating a regime. Right? And most importantly, the DST. Right? Now the new ones, the new drugs which are on block, Bedaquiline, right? DMC 207. This drug has, after 50 years, 52 years, it has been found. It has been approved by US FDA in December 2012 for MDR patients. 100 mg tablets are available. The group is diarrheal marketed by the name of Cipchuro by Johnson & Johnson. No adverse drug reaction with any other antidepressants, right? Per se, it has many side effects. It has many side effects, but it does not interact with any other TB drugs. So we can make any combination with that. That is a good thing, right? It can cause QT interval prolongation, and the guidelines say, which has to be followed and should be followed, that it has to be used only for those in which a subsequent proper regime cannot be made, not in any MDR patient, right? 400 the dosage, 400 mg daily for 2 weeks, and then 200 mg twice a week only for 22 weeks. 6 months is the duration of treatment for Bedaquiline. After that, we have to stop it. But that does not end the treatment of MDR. That goes on for 2 years, but Bedaquiline has to be stopped after 6 months. Right? Rizorin, as we'll see the video of in the next afternoon also. It is an Indian innovation, by Cadila, of course. A very good drug, and the important thing is that when we cannot make any drug, we can at least do something that whatever we have, we use in a better way to fight against, like in water. Yeah, right? So, bioenhancer, piperine, has been added in it. It is black pepper type, and it is a bioenhancer of rifampicin. It helps in absorption also, and it also helps in the liver metabolism. It uses the liver metabolism of rifampicin and maintains the MIC of rifampicin in the body, even when the rifampicin is given only 200 mg. Now see this, right? So it is very important. It is very, very helpful at ideal switch over therapy for those patients who have got hepatotoxicity. You know, we give rifampicin and the patient develops jaundice. Once patient has developed, we stop tolerating. Then we have to add. So for that patient, Rizorin is very nice. And as I said, it reduces the GI side effects of rifampicin and improves the bioavailability. Rifampicin. And more details we will see in the coming video. Right? Other newer drugs. These two are available to us today also. Bedaquiline and Rizorin. The others are yet to come. But future is bright as what I see. Right? These are all tongue twisters like the anti-malignancy drugs. Dilaminid, it is a nitroimidazole, it is metronidazole group drug, very, very effective and ongoing trial. Then this is sutazolid, because I am not using it, I am not very familiar with the names. Sutazolid is a linezolid analog. Now, linezolid is also very effective, but this is even more effective and potent than linezolid for the treatment of tuberculosis. It is also in the phase 2 trial. SQ109, the name has not been given. It is an ethambutol derivative and much more effective than ethambutol. Ethambutol is a bacteriostatic drug, but this one is bactericidal. And the last one is pretomidine. It is also undergoing phase 3 trial. It can kill also the dormant bacilli. Now see the beauty of it, right? So maybe sometime we can reach in bicycle to Ahmedabad in 6 hours. That is what we see from this drug, right? It can kill dormant, so we can give it 3 times a day and it will keep on killing, right? So this is my last slide. What can we do in present day situation? Situation is clear and the concepts are almost clear. Early diagnosis, proper diagnosis, early initiation of treatment, right? Thorough treatment. This is most important. Treat patient properly. See, 50% patient must be responsible, 50% we have to be responsible. That patient should not be not going resistant TB, right? Because I have not mentioned it, but the MDR TB statistics tell that 17% of MDR TB cases are retreatment cases. Only 3% are new, right? So retreatment, either patient has defaulted or something else has gone wrong, right? Proper counseling regarding hygiene, ventilation and care of the kids if present in the family. And this is most important for everybody of us. See, sometimes my friends ask me that you deal with TB patients, but a study has been done. Just a minute, last minute, please. A study has been done that 10 pigs, 20 pigs who had pulmonary TB, frank pulmonary TB, 10 were kept in one room and 10 in another room. Both the rooms had laminar one-way airflow, and that air was sent in another one room, which had 10 dogs in it who were healthy. Right? Now, one room, 10 pigs were given mask to wear. They had tied the mask on them, and another 10 pigs who were pulmonary TB, they had no mask, and the results were outstanding. Those the air in which the dogs were the without mask pigs had gone, 9 of the 10 dogs had been infected of TB from the same air, and with those of mask, only 1 dog out of 10 had got infected. So make patients wear the mask, you know, because I can by guarantee tell you that all the practicing doctors, whether it is government hospital or private, whether it is a super specialist or whether it is a GP, he has got a TB patient in his OPD. It is not possible that TB patient has not come in your OPD, right? So once you diagnose the patient with TB, I forgot to bring it. I have made stickers which shows a mask on it. So when patient is diagnosed of TB or MDR TB, I put that sticker on the file. So whenever next time the patient comes, the outside person is sitting, she gives him a mask to do. Sometimes patient may sit for half an hour to 1 hour in our waiting room. Then what about our staff? And what about us? So keep your OPD ventilated, and if you know that this patient has TB, please make him or her wear a mask. It will protect you also, and it will protect his family members also. Thank you so much for